everybody. Everything is going to be all right. Thank you so much to our DJ Jess and the whole staff. You'll get to say hi to everyone in a few moments. I'm Nan Barnett. I'm the executive director of NNPN, and I use the She series. I am delighted to be with you tonight, kicking off this annual conference with our Playwrights Slam. I am coming to you tonight from the home of the Tequesta, Taino, and Seminole pupils, colonially known as West Palm Beach, Florida, and I am delighted to welcome you to National New Play Network's 2021 annual conference. We're so excited that you're here to kick off this weekend with what has quickly become an NNPN favorite, our semi-annual Playwrights Slam.
Hey all, I'm Ann Morgan, she, her, hers, NNPN's programs director, gratefully zooming in from Monacan and Manahoic land in what is now colonially known as Stanton, Virginia. NNPN has over 300 affiliated artists, all of whom are alumni of an NNPN program, sometimes several, and the majority of whom are playwrights. When planning for this slam as the opening event of this conference, we considered the vast pool of playwrights, and we considered the theme of this weekend, creating accountability and embracing change. We quickly realized that there was one group of affiliated artists who, during their relationship with NNPN, were all forced to embrace change in some way. Each of the writers you are about to meet had the project they were working on with NNPN disrupted in some way by the pandemic. Some went virtual, some got postponed, and some sadly were canceled. All had an NNPN experience unlike what they'd initially anticipated. We are thrilled to be able to uplift their voices this evening and to kick off our conference with their work. Now, here's our Impact Assessment Director, Lindy Rosario, to tell you a little bit more about how the Playwright Slam tradition began.
Thanks, Anne. Hi, everyone. Lindy Rosario, she, her, hers, zooming in from the unceded lands of the Arapaho, the Cheyenne, and the Ute peoples, colonially known as Denver, Colorado. And the Playwright Slam. I love a Playwright Slam. It started for me and many others with Doug Langworthy at the Colorado New Play Summit. And when the pandemic hit, we all realized that a slam is actually really suited to Zoom, and with some small adjustments. So for those of us who are a little rusty, here's a rundown of how this works. Mute yourselves. Thank you. Put your screens to speaker view. Throw all of your love and expressions and shared experiences in the chat. Keep the chat going. We all love to see all of the love pouring in. Some of you have already started, so thank you. And as always, keep it casual. Take care of yourself. Get up if you need. Enjoy your libations. Refill your libations if you have to. And the structure of the evening is, as it has been, each playwright will introduce a fellow playwright. And we will be shamelessly plugging all of these playwrights because we love promoting new work. We are all advocates of them. We love them. And so with that, I welcome our first playwright introduction, brought to you by Jacqueline Goldfinger. Take it away, Jacqueline.
Hello, thank you so much, Lindy. And thank you so much to everyone at NNPN, which has made this happen tonight. I am thrilled and honored to be introducing one of my favorite playwrights, Raina Hardy. Her work is incredible and luminescent, and anytime I'm having a bad day, I always read one of Raina's plays because it's so full of imagination and love and compassion. So I want to do Raina's shameless plug, which is that her play Glassheart is opening on November 19th with no theater, live in Cincinnati, and then it'll be streaming everywhere else so we can all tune in. It's basically Beauty and the Beast, but in a shitty Chicago apartment. So it sounds like basically all of my love affairs in my 20s. It's very exciting. I cannot wait to tune in. And without further ado, the fantastic Raina Hardy.
I know why you're here. I know why all of you are here. You came to see my universe. Hang on. Well, here it is. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking it's some kind of metaphorical, theatrical representation of a universe. It's not. It's a wine glass with some Christmas lights in it. I've been using it as a lamp. No, the universe is inside the wine glass. It's just too small for you to see. It's only a baby right now. The potentiality, it isn't even as big as an up quark. Yes, I'm sure it's in there. My eyes are extremely good and I can see a lot of things that you can't. I'm sorry about the state of things. This place is a dump. I got it in the divorce. I tried to fix it up as best as I could, but I'm no miracle worker. I like oceans, as you can see. Oceans are my favorite part. Everything could be oceans as far as I'm concerned, but I wasn't in charge here, so I just did a few decorations. My God, it really is disgraceful, isn't it? You know, I'm almost ashamed to look at it myself. Do you ever look at a mess and just want to torch it all and start fresh? I hate cleaning up. It is the futility. I used to have an underwater palace, more of a city really, but that's been gone for about 4,000 years. My ex built it for me. The whole thing was unsustainable. Do you think creative types should date other creative types? I don't. Anyway, I was told you are all patrons, aren't you? Of the arts. I was told that you are interested in the development process and that I should share some of my designs for the universe with you. Now, because of the universe construction process, the models must be much larger than the final product. So some of these are almost as big as a bacterium. Now, I'm not sure what kind of equipment you brought with you, but ladies and gentlemen, feel free to pull out your microscopes. No, I do not have any microscopes for you to borrow. I don't need them. Why would I have them? I'm sorry. I suppose I didn't think about this. I used to work big, you know, leviathans of all kinds, cephalopods. I made a turtle once that ended up carrying a very nice tribe of humans on its back through the ocean. The turtle is part of Hawaii now. I forget which part, but don't mind me. I was asked to prepare a statement for you all, an artistic statement about the history that led me to create this universe. So, since my divorce, I have been attempting to complete the great work of my life. It has been obviously a challenge. Upkeep alone takes up so much of my time. It is, you imagine the frustration of one's own creations, destroying one's own creations. And sometimes I feel there's no room in my life for anything new. So I decided it was time to step out, to start fresh, to go solo. So here it is. My infant universe in its infinite potential. I've been tinkering with it for years and years, but it is finally perfect. It is finally ready. I just need to say the word and bang, a whole new world. Of course, the process of creating this new universe will destroy this present universe, but my goodness, don't you think it's time for a change? I have thought, and I have tried and tried, but it's irredeemable. I have to move on, and I want something on my own. Thank you for coming to this unveiling. Thank you for appreciating my art. And thank you for attending what you didn't know was the debut of my first major solo project. I'm sorry you will not be able to examine it more closely after your dimensional existence has been obliterated. Today is the first day of the rest of my life. In the beginning, there was okay. So that was the first one. Thank you so much for listening. I will now, that is a standalone piece that I like to do because it has a prop and that always makes it fun. Usually it's a punch bowl, but now I'm in a hotel, so it was a glass of wine. And if I had really been thinking, I would have gotten a bottle of wine and then like poured some wine and drunk it right before the end. So like you can add that mentally if you think it would have enhanced the whole thing. Okay, so this next one will not have a lot of production values, oh, wrong, I have the wrong thing pulled up. Here we go. Perfect, okay. So this next one is from a play that I'm working on with the Vortex and with Interact in Philadelphia, the Vortex in Austin. It is a play about people trying to save the world through children's television, and it is in 3 acts. This story, like fable, it sort of goes with the first one because it's another more traditionally told sort of like creation myth type thing, has always been a part of it, but it's not quite clear what part it will be. But you know, I thought I'd read it for you. Anyway, the first act of this play, which is called Sunny Days, is set in the early 2000s in Kosovo, in a conference room where 4 people are coming together to try to create a children's TV show for the children of Kosovo that will promote peace. So that goes really well. And then the second act is set, you know, a couple years ago in Texas, and it's, oh, right, sorry, and I should mention that the first act is only people, it's like only humans. And then the second act is set in Texas, a couple like present-ish, but not quite. It's about trying to create a TV show for children impacted by the border crisis. And it's a mix of humans and puppets, because puppets are very important to this play. And then the final act is set in the future, and everybody is a puppet. It's only puppets. So the play goes forward through future and becomes less realistic and increasingly full of puppets. Anyway, this story is told by a wise sort of clone of the Great Trash Heap from Fraggle Rock, and a little girl has come to this sort of wise old creature to ask her how to get to Sesame Street, essentially. ABC City, which is basically Sesame Street. And the wise old garbage heap type creature says, well, do you want to go there the hard way or the easy way? And the little girl says the easy way. And this is how the great garbage responds. Long, long ago, when the world was real, the daughter of the creation goddess was playing on the riverbank when the anti-gods saw her. What is that you are playing with? My poppet that my mother made me, might I see it? The daughter, who was proud of the poppet, gave it to the anti-god, who immediately threw it down a great dark hole. My mother's present, the daughter screamed and jumped into the hole. The hole was an entrance to the bad old anti-world, where the gods put everything that has gotten broken. This had seemed like a good idea to the gods when they had it, but they hadn't reckoned with the jealousies of the anti-god, who had to be in charge of this sad, empty place and did nothing but desire the perfections of the real world for himself. And then the anti-god had the perfect daughter, and for the perfect daughter, this was not great, as she had to live in the anti-world and never see the light of the beautiful sun. Don't worry, Poppet, my mother will save us. But things were more complicated. Up in the real world, her mother was facing a complete stonewalling from the other gods, who disliked the anti-god, but really, really needed his support. So the creation goddess turned into her own twin sister, the destruction goddess, but the other gods assumed she would quit after a while because she had literally thousands of children, and she wouldn't kill them all because of this one, would she? They called her bluff. However, the daughter had no idea what was going on in the real world. She held her poppet and cried, I wish you were my mother. And the poppet said, I can be your mother. The poppet didn't usually talk, so this got the daughter's attention right away. The most important thing a mother can do is advise her child. And I would advise you, my child, to see what you can do about rescuing yourself. The daughter had tried this already. Don't frown at me, little idiot. You ran and you fought and he stopped you because he is stronger. You will never be stronger. But you are the daughter of the creation goddess. Why don't you make him something that will distract him? The daughter remembered a funny little monkey that she used to keep as a pet. She gathered all the broken bits from the anti-world and made a charming little monkey. Nothing like as good as the real monkey, but still. And the anti-god laughed and played with the monkey, but only for a little while. And when the daughter tried again to escape, he definitely noticed. Good start, my child. Probably should go bigger next time. So the daughter made a flock of swans like the one she used to watch on the riverbed. She made a fragrant fruit tree like the one she used to sit under. She even made a beautiful toy shop like the one she used to visit with her mother, filled with toy swans and toy monkeys. Every day she sat and thought of everything in the real world that she loved and did her best to recreate it, even the other gods, with the exception of her own mother, towards whom she harbored very complicated feelings. But as the years wore on, she made everything a perfect recreation of the real world inside the anti-world, and still the anti-god would not let her go. And some say this is the greatest possible blessing. For although the creation goddess was truly bluffing, once the other gods refused her request, the rage and grief that filled her heart made it impossible for her to turn back into herself. She turned into the destruction goddess for good, and she danced all over the real world until it was danced to pieces, and she danced the other gods to nothing, and then she danced away herself. And so the world that the daughter made, the broken mirror world, the world of dark glass, that is the only world left. And that is the world we live in today. The end. Did that answer your question? Okay. Thank you so much. And I am happy to introduce someone who is new to me and who I am very glad to have met, Lucas Beisch. Please, please, please go ahead and pre-order as soon as possible his play Dry Swallow, which is being published in December and is currently available for pre-order from Bloomsbury Methuen Drama. So yeah, click that and you should be able to find how to immediately send Lucas both some love and some money, no matter where you live in the world.
Thank you, Raina. Thank you for that boost in sales. Hi, everyone. I'm just going to adjust my Word doc a bit so I don't have to look at my own face while I'm reading. One second. Okay. So a bit of a tonal pivot. I'll be reading from my play 404 Not Found, which I figured I would share because I developed it with the NNPN Kennedy Center MFA Playwrights Workshop in the summer of 2020, which feels like it was 55 years ago. And I'm also producing it with Red Eye Theater in Minneapolis this February. Okay, thanks for being here. There is a clay wall outside facing painted hospital scrub greenish blue. Its top is lined with broken glass bottles and barbed wire. There are flakes of plastic bag caught between them. There is a metal grate over a square window. There's a man, slack, handcuffed to its bar, his other arm in a sling. An obscured figure enters. He holds a red Solo cup to Slack's mouth. Drink? Slack drinks the contents of the cup. He holds the liquid in his mouth, swirls. Spit. Slack spits. All of it. All of it. The figure looks in the cup, checks his watch. Good. The figure exits. Slack in a shock of light. For years, talking to myself, I'd say, meet me at the toaster oven. Walk my ass to the kitchen pantry, dripping wet from the shower daily. Number 3, depressive. Stick 2 frozen hash browns in the bear trap, watch it heat up orange, turn the browns all black, all charred, then chow down. A dash of soy sauce, garlic powder. I am wretched. But this go round at the old toast and slobber, this time we pull an emergency brake, my midnight monotony, shift gear, reverse. Christ now, how'd that get here? I blink at a paper package on the floor, damp at the corner. Vinegar blotches? I guess I thrash a bit. You pick it up, unravel the twine, turkey your fingers around it, shake it a little, jingle. This is a shoebox. And when I rip off its lid, this is a coffin. Inside teeth. Human teeth, incisors, canine, shades of gray and yellow, adult and child teeth, hundreds, beads to be strung up like a damn necklace, worn like a badge for something cultish. Where and why, I putter, where, why? It's worrisome, and I'm disgusted with my own lack of surprise, especially considering I hadn't received package in months, perhaps a year, and here a crusty shoebox shows up on my linoleum. I didn't put it there. I did not ask for this. So I'll send a text to Crowley. Nico Crowley, Crowbar, that's what we'd call him in grade school, then correctional. Crowbar, as if a name like that meant brutal or prying, when in reality, he's the softest boy, a jello spigot. Years later, we keep on, he becomes a part of the family, and presently at Kitchen Shoebox, I'll send a text. You leave this at the dining room table. A picture for reference, a message error, the file too big, my data run out, poor connection, his service. Crowley, Crowbar, Crowley. Years ago, he'd saved my brother from a suicide mission, found his frothy mouth passed out in a closet, stuck up one of those road homes the two of them rented from a senile family friend. This old bag, sweet woman. Anyways, Crowbar, he heaves my brother upright, sits him in a plastic chair, no phoning the police, never phoning the police. Takes it upon himself to flood the system. A pop a Narcan and we're back in business. We weren't friendly, us two, my brother and me. We made Crow less so. We quickly graduate from petty theft to breaking and entering to, well, other things. Because in the Central Valley, California, that skinny little middle part folks forget about. No lustful oceanside, no forest sprawl. There's only 10 to 12 ways to be. The majority involve being ruthless, and whose crosses it to bear when a miscreant turns to profit? I'd say everyone's probably. We kidnap a pansy boy, we drive him in the back of Crowbar's pickup, bungee cord him to a recliner, wedge a bit of steel wool in his mouth because he done the boys dirty. An abandoned parking structure all fenced in, wire cutters a break in the chain link, band-aids on each finger because we broke them with a mallet. I catch a glimpse of the poor kid's chest hairs floating out his button-up, ingrown, stubby red, growing back from a self-shearing. Like he knew he was destined to be a lamb, God's lamb. My arm's in a sling, so I can't help much, but I watch my brother and Crowbar, and I'm smacking gum. It's cinnamon. The two of them step away, and Kid says, "Look, man, you've got the wrong Rita." Oh, hold on, boys. Hold a second. I make some jest. Maybe we could let him go. We burst out laughing, the three of us, some holier than thou garble. I'm kidding. I'm joking. I'm nauseous. My brother has Crowley take the car keys from ignition. He tries to back out, and I say, "Push on," and, well, we wedge out every molar, every wisdom bite one by one, and baby Rita goes spitting blood up my pant leg, cawing on, gums flaring, slam dunk. He looks small, particularly small, like old man small, shrink wrap. Me, tough guy, I skip out of there pretending to take a piss when really I'm blowing chunks, profuse, ashamed, alone, frozen, bile crusted on my sneaker, and we never talk about it again. Fast forward, and I win a mystery shoebox. Shit. I don't hear from Crowley Crowbar after message error. He doesn't want to talk to me after he isn't answering my texts, my emails, my phone calls, because I think he got the tooth necklace too. Won the package, kitchen floor. The problem is he put it on. Regalia, death dressage, everyone did. And when I make my way outside into an empty public, I notice no one's there. I make my journey into a desert, a neo-Jesus, everything Judean, all of us one sexy, sick Judas pining for the next person to make toothless. And I, like you, end up here, at a trench in the mountain. Wire cutters, a break in the chain link, and this freakish family found me. Or maybe I found them. They stapled a placard to my chest. They gave me a new name. They call me History. That's the top off upon my arrival, like I'm a second coming and not some local ingrate. History. All in one, jackpot, whack-a-mole, the crane game caught me. History. I'm a fucking sentient tree ring, but the naughty kind, naughty like knots, mangled branch, that's me. I'm fixed to a window grate, getting my ass wiped by her and him, and they leave me a plastic cup of water. They put a rock in it so the wind won't take it away. There is wind here. You feel it? Do you feel that? The wind means ritual, means a place needs repairing, deliverance, a box of tooth jewelry, time travel, the sound of boots on gravel, someone unseen in the periphery. You still there? Someone there? You're gonna help me out of here, or are you some part of all that sideways logic? Huh? Cool. Thanks. All right. I have the pleasure of introducing our third playwright of the evening, Fran da Silveira. Fran's shameless plug, exciting news is that her play, Can I Touch It?, which was a part of the NNPN showcase, is receiving its world premiere at Company One Theater this coming summer. Congratulations, Fran. I'm delighted to hear your piece. All right, take it away.
Thank you, Lucas. That was very beautiful. I am going to pivot slightly and read a scene from a very new play, very new play, that has 6 characters in it. So this is going to be very fun and experimental. But for some reason, this is the scene that I was the most excited about sharing. The play is called The Merry Wives of Grenoble, and it is about my great grandfather, who was a white French count, who decided to travel around the islands that I am from, which is Cape Verde off the west coast of Africa, and settle on my island and basically populate it by taking 7 wives. So the play is just the 7 women. He is an on stage, not seen character. He lives in what I am calling the love shack, and is never really seen. And for a visual guidance, because this is sort of based off of a real town, which is at the base of the volcano, this is, I don't know if everyone can see, me on top of the love shack, just to give some visual guidance. I am not an actor whatsoever. I can't do voices, so you'll see a lot of like this and this and this to designate different characters. Again, apologies for the wackiness, but hopefully some of it translates. Cool. I will get started. Nighttime, almost pitch black, sound of crickets. Jesuina sits on the roof of the love shack, hugging her knees, looking out. She stands, tosses a pebble out into the darkness, sits back down. A pair of hands reach out from behind her and stuffs a rag into her mouth. Another pair places a sack over her head, another ties her hands. Female voices argue as they pull a struggling Jesuina into the darkness. Be careful, grab her legs. I can't, she's kicking me. Ow, she scratched me. Just grab on, I'm trying, I can't see. A lantern light appears from Domitilia's corner, illuminating Antonia, Clementina, Camila, Guillermina, dragging a kicking and screaming Jesuina into the yard. That bitch definitely scratched me. Look, don't be such a baby. It does look a little deep. Thanks for the light, Domi. Sure, you might wanna. Domitilia nods in the direction of Jesuina, who's running away. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. Language, Clementina. I got her. No, she's mine. Camila hikes her dress and runs, tackling Jesuina into the ground. Bring the chair. Clementina sits Jesuina down. She ties her hands to the chair and then takes off the hood. Calm down or you're gonna hurt yourself. Jesuina struggles. Guillermina grabs onto her shoulders. Hey, cool it and I'll take the gag out, okay? That wasn't part of the plan. She's gonna really hurt herself if she doesn't stop moving. You're gonna chill, right? Jesuina stills, nods. Guillermina takes the gag off. Jesuina spits at her. Traitor. Ew. I'm gonna poison all of you, just you wait. Can we put the gag back on her? I'm coming for you first. Yeah, whatever. Can we get this over with? What's the plan then? Kill me and throw me into the volcano? Bury me by the yucca root? Cut up my body and feed it to the pigs? Antonia does the sign of the cross. Oh my God. Your imagination is a scary place. Yeah, dude, you sound crazy. Oh, you haven't seen crazy yet. Jesuina struggles. Stop it. The sooner you calm down, the sooner we can all go home. This is already cutting into the 3 hours of sleep I get a night. How do you function? There's this herb that grows by the mango tree. Drink a glass of that when I wake up. I'm good to go all day. You have to show me. Hello? Can someone tell me what the fuck is going on? Antanya? Oh, I mean, we sense a dark spirit inside of you, Jaswina, and we're going to help you get it out. What the fuck is she talking about? Will, what is she talking about? It wasn't my idea. Someone tell me what's going on, or I swear I will scream bloody murder and what? No one lives around here. I'll wake up the Count. You really want to do that? Don't worry, it's not going to hurt. I mean, I don't think it will. I've never actually done this before. Done what? Wait, you haven't? No. You're literally always talking about exorcisms. Oh, you've got to be shitting me. When have I ever talked about exorcisms before? Like all the time, Antanya. See, this just proves that no one ever listens to me when I talk. Then why did you suggest doing this? Because you guys were talking all secretively and not very quietly, I might add, about what to do about Jaswina, and I felt left out, so I said the craziest thing I could think of to get your attention, and you were the dumbasses that believed me. Did you just swear, Antanya? Jaswina laughs. What's so funny? This is the worst kidnapping ever. Like you've been kidnapped before. How do you think I got here, dipshit? You think I'd willingly let them bring me here? That tracks. So what do we do now? Let me go? Duh. We probably should. No, I've been looking forward to this all day, and I didn't lug this holy water here for nothing. Antanya lugs a bucket of water closer to the exorcism spot. Where'd you even get that? I made it. How do you even make holy water? Yeah, doesn't it need to be blessed by the Pope? José told me, José, who makes the moonshine that's used as lighter fluid, he used to be a priest in Santiago. No, he didn't. That's what he told me. You're so gullible. Do you want the holy water or not? What did José say? This is gonna be good. What did he say? He said that if a godly person, for example me, were to pee in water, oh fuck no. Jaswina struggles. The women laugh. So this is your pee water? Well, reflecting back, it does sound like he was messing with me. That's so nasty. You are not getting anywhere near me with that. Good job, Antanya. What do we do now? My mother told me to add some, my mother used to add some pea water to my bath water when I was young. She said it was used to protect me from the evils of the world. Don't me. See, it's not actually that crazy. You really think you can do this? No, 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 no. This night just got so much better than I thought it would be. Fuck you. Clementina stuffs the gag back into Jaswina's mouth. Are we seriously thinking of doing this? I vote yes. Clem? Antanya's right. There's clearly something demonic inside her. She's a little rabid, sure, but she's just a kid. Exactly. Why we need to help her now. By throwing piss water at her? Do you have any better ideas? Clementina, Guillermina, and Camila step aside. Antanya steps forward. She clears her throat, takes out a rosary, wraps it around her hand, inhales. Okay. You can do this, Antanya. Antanya raises her hand, almost touching Jaswina's forehead. Whoever you are, I just want to talk to you. Talk? What does she do? Shh. I do not want to hurt you. Why are you in Jaswina? Is there something you need from her? Jaswina thrashes, screaming through her gag. Whatever it is you want, you cannot have her. You hear me? She is innocent. Camila snorts. She is an innocent child, and you cannot have her for your wicked plans. In Jesus' name, in Jesus' name. Antanya holds up a wooden cross made by a child. Jaswina thrashes. Break the curse, Jaswina. Quemque vult salvus esse ante omnia opus est et tenet catholica fidem. What the fuck? Antanya takes a handful of pea water and throws it at Jaswina. Jaswina thrashes. Quam nisi quisquam integrum involate. Antanya throws more pea water. Jaswina cries. Fides autem catholica et unum deo. That's enough. In etem vene. I said that's enough. Guillermina kicks over the bucket of pea water. Hey, what are you doing? Guillermina takes off Jasmina's bounds. I wasn't finished. Jasmina sobs. She pushes Guillermina aside and falls to the ground. Jasmina? Is she okay? Is she saved? Guillermina gets down on the ground and pulls Jasmina into a hug. Hey, shh. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Jasmina jumps up, pulling a glass bottle from inside Guillermina's coat. She breaks it, wine spilling, and holds it out in defense. And that's where I'll stop. Thank you. I felt like I had like multiple personalities. But God bless actors, y'all. God bless actors. I have the pleasure of introducing the next reader, Playwrights Extraordinary Human, Ricardo Perez Gonzalez. They have a reading of a new play called Mother of God about raising a teenage Jesus the week of February 14th at Echo Theater in LA. Which what better way to spend a Valentine's Day than by seeing a brilliant new play? Take it away, Ricardo.
Thank you so much, Fran. That was amazing. How do you follow that? How do you follow 6 personalities in one amazing person? So again, I'm Ricardo. I'm zooming at you from Los Feliz in LA, which is the land of the Chumash and the Quiche. And I'm going to be doing 2 pieces for you today. The first is from The Vault, if you will. It's a monologue I first wrote for a night of healing curated by Jeremy O. Harris. And then it was part of a commission for Second Stage a few years back. It's also inspired several of my pieces, including a TV series I'm developing and a part of Don't Eat the Mangoes, which was the NNPN Rolling World premiere. Started off with the magic. Shout out to Sonia in the audience. And that play was, that premiere was interrupted by COVID. So it's just now getting started again. It's lovely to be here with you all, so thank you. So I wanted to share this monologue as a source of inspiration for me. I'm reading the part of Lourdes, who is a Puerto Rican woman in her 50s. She's old school from Ponce. And yeah. So without further ado, the monologue itself is called Bendiciones. What is it in us that makes us want to hurt our children? That is the first thing I thought when I heard. Such a question for a mother, eh? I mean, I think I would know. The bad behavior, the bad grades, the bad choices. It's enough to send your chancleta flying, fuacata. That loving tradition of Puerto Rican mothers, a sandal to the nalguitas. Mijo, I just mopped the floor. Don't go into the kitchen. What did I just say? Fuacata. No, mijo, you can't have an icy pop. You'll spoil your appetite. Te lo dije. Fuacata. I told you not to hang out with El Chamaquito ese. He's trouble. Stay away from him. Fuacata. So I know the impulse to hurt. Some say it's about raising them right, but I know better. It's more than that. It's anger, betrayal, that this man, this boy you gave birth to, gave suck to, does not do precisely what you wish him to do. That he is different from you, separate. He would not tell me where he was going that night. I screamed at him to tell me where he was going dressed like, tú sabes. But he would not tell me. I'm headed to Marta's. Mentiras! Marta is with her mommy in the Keys. I'm going to water their plants. He came up with one lie after another. I could tell they were lies because when he gets nervous, he tugs his ear. But I could no longer take the chancleta to him to stop him from leaving. So he just walked away from me. Just before he left, as he stood in the doorway between here and there, then and now, he turned to me and asked my bendición. Bendiciones, mami. 21 years he had left my house with my blessings. Since the moment he could speak in full sentences, he would bow his head to me every day before he left. Bendiciones, mami. And I would hold his face between my hands and kiss his forehead. Bendición, mijo. Except for that night. I was so angry and I wanted him to feel it. I wanted to hurt him as he had hurt me with his lies. I was his mother. A child should not hide anything from his mother. It's like trying to hide the flower from its roots. I heard they were engaged to be married. I read it in the papers. My son and I did not understand that. Two men. When I heard that, it was almost harder to understand than the fact that my child was dead. Perhaps because the death of a child is unimaginable. It isn't hard to understand, it just can never be understood. But two men married, that is hard. I think with God's help, it would have made sense to me one day. It is hard to understand. Love is like that. Hard to understand. The gunman, the shooter. I understand the shooter. I think we all do. We say we don't. How could someone go into a nightclub? We say that, but we are lying. There's a deep, dark part of us that knows. Just as some part of me knows what makes us want to hurt our children. Bendiciones, mijo. Bendición. That was my first piece. Thank you. Thank you for the love in the chat, for the applause. So, little tonal shift yet again. And so my second piece is actually from my play On the Grounds of Belonging. And it's a song. So I'm going to be singing a little song for you. And the song is sung by Miss Tanya. And the thing about Miss Tanya is Miss Tanya doesn't leave the house without putting on her face. So I'm just going to add a little bit of eleganza for you while I tell you a little bit about On the Grounds of Belonging. So On the Grounds of Belonging is a play about racially segregated gay bars in 1950s Houston, Texas. Yes, you heard that right. And it's about a pair of lovers, one white and one black, who meet in that milieu. It's basically a Romeo and Juliet love story told over the course of several decades, because it's actually a trilogy that follows the story of our lovers from the 1950s to the present day. And Long Wharf Theater has committed to producing the trilogy. So if you are ever in New Haven, why don't you just come and see me sometime. So Miss Tanya is a lounge singer, and she sings this song to comfort one of our lovers. Give me a moment for a little costume change, a little lighting change, and let me cue up the music. It was the first day. It was the last day. It was the only day we got. It was a moment in time. It was a phase of the moon. It was a night blooming tree. It lost its flowers too soon. We were born dead to the world. I found a life in your arms. I got so lost in your eyes. I forgot it was over before the start. It's an old-fashioned love song, sung for you and for me. It's an old-fashioned love song that will never ever be. It's an old-fashioned love song, like a knife to the heart. It's an old-fashioned love song, and we'll never be a part of it, 'cause we're born dead to the world. We've known the end since the start. It's like the blink of an eye, like a knife to the heart, 'cause we're born dead to the world. I found a life in your arms. I got so lost in your eyes. I forgot about the start, 'cause we're born dead to the world. We found a life in your arms. I got so lost in your eyes. I forgot it was over before the start. We forgot it was over before the start. Thank you. That song is actually available on iTunes. Deidre Aziza recorded a version of it after I premiered the play at the Public Theater Public Studios. So thank you again, everybody. Thank you to my fellow playwrights for their amazing work. Thank you to Lindy and Anne and Nan and Monica and Justin, everybody at NNPN for this time. It's really beautiful. And again, thank you to my fellow playwrights. Y hablando de mi fellow playwrights, it is my enormous pleasure to introduce the immensely talented artist, Keiko Green. And just so you know, the world premiere of Keiko's Hometown Boy is running at Actors Express in Atlanta through November 28th. You have 15 days. Do not miss it. You'll be kicking yourself, so run, don't walk. Without further ado, Keiko, take it away.
Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, that was so incredible. Wow. Okay, great. So I am going to, I'm also going to read a new play, like Fran did. So I have a play called Insignificant Bugs, which I just like got done with the first draft. It's like that's where it is. And it's a really loose, it's a super loose adaptation of The Ant and the Grasshopper fable. It's set in a high school drama club, and it's kind of my roasting and love letter to theater. And I'm sure you'll know what I'm talking about. This is it's all set in a high school theater. And so when I'm gonna do a little scene for you, and then I'm gonna do a little monologue from it. This first scene is Annie, who is 17, our aunt. She is practicing her one-woman show before school on the stage. And right as she was singing a song, it was I Saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus, she hears a strange voice off stage. Okay. Hello? Oh my God. Annie runs and turns off the music. Jane enters. She's 23. She wanders onto the stage from the wings. Oh, hi. Oh my God, who are you? I'm the sub. You're the sub. Mr. Mahoney's out for the day. So they said maybe the week. They said maybe forever. There's some sort of investigation. Wait, Mr. Mahoney got fired? It's unclear. But it's like the first week of school. Yeah, yikes. But he's so nice. Yeah, I don't know, but I think he might be like too nice, but just to the girls. He's nice to everyone. Mr. Mahoney's the best. Okay, so anyway, I'm the sub. I've never subbed drama before, just like English and art one time. Do you have any professional credits? Mr. Mahoney was in Les Mis on Broadway. He has the voice of an angel. I'm afraid I haven't done anything like that. Oh, sorry to disappoint. Did you at least attend a conservatory training program? No. Improv experience? No. Dance camp? Nope. This is my senior year. This is not how it's supposed to. Oh, please don't. I'm sure we'll figure something out. I'm a film geek, actually. There was a time I thought maybe I'll direct movies, but things kind of didn't work out. Oh my God, this is wrong. This is all wrong. You're like really into this stuff, huh? You have a song you like to sing? You were singing when I came in, right? Nobody's usually here this early. Last year near the end, I realized I could come in early every day and have the whole place to myself because Mr. Mahoney wouldn't get here until like 11 a.m. or sometimes noon. He was always so sick in the mornings. He was hungover. No, he's just very sensitive to light and loud noises. I hope he's okay without me. I would bring him Alka-Seltzer. I was like his right hand. How did you get in here? I had to flag a janitor. I had a duplicate key made to all the doors. Wow, that sounds super illegal. I was the ASM last show, so okay. Yeah, but anyway, I'll probably be on stage this year a lot. So everyone says I'm the best singer in drama. Oh, cool. Yeah, like there are some girls in chorus who are pretty good, but they don't know how to belt. So you're good then. That's great. Yeah. Can I hear it? Hear it? Your song? Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, yeah, okay. Woo! Jane applauds. Okay, so first I'd be like, Mom used to say, Annie, you little cunt. Jesus. Shh, okay, and then I tell a funny story about her and my grandma and like stuff about feminism. That's why it's okay for me to say the C word. I love feminism, but not like the icky kind. Like we need to be open to all voices, but within reason, you know? Uh-huh. Annie restarts her singing track. Oh, we're just gonna get right into it, huh? I saw Mommy kissing Santa Claus underneath. You're not very good. Oh my God, what the hell is wrong with you? Annie stops the music. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought, oh my God, do you even know like how much guts, like how vulnerable you have to be to like. Annie sits and puts her head between her knees, sobbing silently. Oh God, I'm so sorry. I thought like that's maybe what I'm supposed to do as a teacher. Feedback, you know, it's on my list of things to work on. Learn to give feedback, stop oversharing. Oh God, please stop crying. It's fine, really. No, I see now how I really screwed that moment up. I'm still learning. Like I said, I'm like right out of college, so I'm like super old. Interesting. I've been taking voice classes twice a week for 15 years. How old are you? 17? Oh, yeah, no, I could totally tell. There was like a wisdom there. You really know how to work that throat. No, I don't. Okay, but you can still practice and you can still take part, right? Did Mr. Mahoney leave a note? He's not dead, just under investigation. Mr. Mahoney always said I was so vital. His right-hand gal. He said this year would be different, that I earned it. And now he's gone. Some kind of light shift. Annie looks out into the middle distance. This was supposed to be my year. My last shot. I'm graduating this year. There's a thing called tradition. Freshman year, tech work, industry standard, of course. Sophomore year, stage debut as some smaller supporting thing, maybe a grandma or a cop. Then junior year, you get your first big part where you get to wear the pretty makeup. But if you graduate without ever feeling the warmth of a spotlight, then that's just like the confirmation that you really are as bad as you thought you were. And maybe you need to study something more practical like English or something, because no college will ever have you because you just don't have that sparkle. Annie starts to cry. She freezes, touches her face. Remember this emotion. Hey, come on, cheer up. Is this all supposed to be a bit of fun? Of course, I'm having a really great time. I just need to know. Did Mr. Mahoney leave a note? No. Voicemail, email, a text, anything? Hey, look, this is all just temporary, okay? I'm sure they'll find someone in no time, someone who's been in even more Broadways than Mr. Mahoney, who knows all about the beltings and all the other things that you mentioned. I'm just the sub, just filling in. This is all just temporary. Exactly. Light shift. So that's our scene, the tone of the piece. And then now I'm going to do a little monologue. There's sections in it where people do monologues to audition for the shows, but they're also kind of auditioning for their futures. And so this is Shelly. I just want everyone to know my mom made this thing for me as if she thought I would actually wear it in life. And so this is why I own this. So you should know that. Okay. A single stool on the stage. Shelly enters. She moves the stool a little out of the way. I'm not going to use this. So I'm Shelly McKevitt, and I will be auditioning for the girl with a bright future ahead of her. So the truth, I'm sorry, I will use the stool. I'm so sorry. Okay, she gets the stool and sits. Sorry. Okay, so I've been first chair since 6th grade when we could start playing in orchestra class, which obviously everyone knows, but the truth is, I've been playing since I was 6. Yeah. So by the time we were learning in middle school, I had already been playing for like half a decade. I just pretended like I was a quick learner, like I was some prodigy learning all the fingering on the spot. And it's the same with everything else. Like, for example, I have a journal with a list of jokes that I'm constantly adding to. So if someone brought up like dolphins or whales or orcas or something, I could be like, if you stuck your finger in their blowhole, would you call that a blowjob? Those kinds of like sex jokes really crush in my age group. And I've just got like a whole list of those waiting. Little jokes and comments about hats, jam versus jelly, women's pant pocket sizes. In June of every year, I email my teachers what the assignments will be next year and read and study constantly through summer vacation, then act like it all just comes naturally in class. I learn choreography before going to the dances. I hire a stylist to pick out all my outfits for the week. But that's what it takes to be number one and to be remembered for it. It has to come naturally, effortless. But it's actually a whole lot of effort and all the extra work to hide it all. Sometimes I don't even have time to sleep or eat because I'm so busy doing all this extra work, and it takes a toll. My hair started to fall out a little more than it grows in. There's a constant high-pitched ringing in my right ear, and I stopped getting my period entirely. But if that's what it takes to get ahead, I think that's worth it. I've got a bright future ahead of me. Thank you. She smiles, bows, exits. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed my weird play. It is my absolute pleasure. I'm gonna keep this on it. Yeah, it is my absolute pleasure to introduce Lindsay Carpenter, who I would have met in person during our MFA workshop. A shameless plug for Lindsay. Her play, Our Black Death, Plagues, Turnips, and Other Romantic Gestures, which was part of that 2020 MFA workshop last year, is getting its world premiere in January with the Unicorn Theater. So please, please, please check that out. It's going to be amazing. Lindsay, take it away, my girl.
Thanks, Keiko. That was really funny. All right, I'm going to be reading from two pieces tonight. Echoing what Fran said, I'm not an actor. So the first piece is a monologue from my play that's going to be getting the production. And I'm going to be playing the character of the man. So at the beginning of the play, he was put under a love spell, which caused him to stop talking. And now he's just been put under a new spell to make him start talking again. This morning I peed for 5 whole minutes and I thought, is that normal? It can't be normal, but sometimes I sit there for minutes and minutes and can't pee. I like to sit. I know I can stand, but I like to sit. I stand and walk and move so often. Do you ride horses? I love to ride horses. Of course you ride horses. It's the Middle Ages. Everyone rides horses. Unless you can't afford to. Can you afford to? It's not tricky, but sometimes if you need to pee and you're on a horse and up and down, you get the idea. Not that I've peed on a horse before, not on the horse. I got off in time. I'm glad I got off because the up and down, but sometimes I sit there and nothing is coming out and I wait and I think, I wish I was literate. I wish I was literate and could sit and read a long book of history and the boredom would force the urine to poignard itself from my little fellow, mon petit protuberance, mon grand protuberance, très grand. I hate French. You must be wondering why I'm not literate. I should be able to read. I'm not a peasant like you, but I used to get sleepy when I was supposed to be learning. And I never could stay still, except when I can't pee and I'm sitting and waiting, like I said. Why am I telling you all of this? I feel like I can't stop talking and I want you to love me. I want you to love me so bad. I really love you. And I can't tell you why. It's like I'm breathing at this increased rate, this heart-throbbing pace like a gallop. I like horses. I like how tall I feel on a horse. It makes up for how small I can't stop the words that keep coming. And I feel like all I can do is control them a little bit, guide them a little. And I'm so sorry. I want to listen to you. I want to adore you. I want to be good, but I feel like I'm compelled. I'm so tired. I'm so tired of talking and words and my voice. Is this how I always sounded? I'm so sorry. I'm so tired. Compelled. I think you are gorgeous. I think you are perfect. I think you are everything. I think you are. All right. And for the next piece, this is an excerpt from a very new play of mine called Pillow Fort. And it's about 4 kids played by adults building a pillow fort. This takes place about 3/4 of the way through the play, and I'm going to be playing 2 characters, Micah and Elliot. And at this point in the play, the character of Micah just became the leader. Sarah and Bridget, you have your assignment. Elliot, with me. What will we do? Relax. What do you take a breath, watch them work, supervise, relax. But haven't you ever been in charge? I'm not. You're my second in command, my right hand. Right now, you are in charge, but you're relish it. We're not going to help. Relax. For now, take a breath, watch. Bridget, it's tipping, lift your side higher. See, supervising, expending no labor and claiming all success as your own. You try? I want to help. You are helping. Supervising, leading, it's the most important job. Its true purpose is to make others feel purposeful. Try it. Sarah, you missed a pillow? Yeah, over there. Keep practicing, but good start. I don't like relaxing. I like helping. I like building. I don't feel like I'm part of the team. Okay, enough then. Here we are. What we bring is vision. I want us to stop for a second. Take 3 steps back. No, literally take 3 steps back with me. They need to put that desk there. Thanks, Bridget. That desk looked heavy. Sarah, keep up the good work. See, Elliot? Their success, our success. Our pride, their pride. It feels fake. This feels fake. You feel fake like this. I didn't think you were strong, loud, powerful, a leader, mean. I'm being commanding, not mean. Everyone wants me in charge. Everyone likes my idea. Everyone needs a leader. Everyone, why? I don't think leaders help us. I think leaders, you always sit there and let your sentences run out. Finish them. Leaders get in the way, they finish. They make us all feel worse for not doing things. And I know, finish, okay. Okay, it's all in my head. I'm just having, finish it. I hate leaders. I hate that we give these people power, that we choose a person with power and they're powerful and the rest of us are soldiers or builders or normal people or powerless, that we're incremental people, part people, and they're leaders. Leaders, as though by putting them in charge, we've made them more intelligent, more insightful, but what we need is someone who can look at us and unite us, and we need each other together, united. I think if we could just get rid of these leaders, if we could just lead ourselves, if we could just agree on our own terms equally without the pyramid, the line, I wish we could just decide together on what we want to make, discuss together how we want to make it, and together build it. I wish when we said we meant we, not that person and the rest of us, not that person making something out of the rest of us, not that person is better than the rest of us, not that person can destroy the rest of us, not we will protect that person and sacrifice the rest of us, not that person gets whatever they want. And if any of us mess up, we're out, we're gone, we're done, because they're the leader and we are the rest of us. I don't want there to be a rest of us. I want there to just be us. Okay, I won't lead. Let's see what happens. You're already leading. They have a task. Let's let them do that task for now. No more supervising. No more orders. Elliot, partner, peer, us, we, what will we do? I don't want to give an order. No orders, discussion. I think we need to add walls. They're building a structure and outline. I think we need to add the walls so we can't see inside the tunnels. So there's a maze of rooms. What do you think? I like that idea, but what should we make them out of? What do you think? When I was younger, I used to draw on the walls. I loved to sit in the dark, put a flashlight to the white walls and draw. One time, Sarah and Bridget and Julian came over and they started drawing with me. They added onto what I was doing, filled in my trees of fruit, added people to my streets. We built a whole world on the walls. My parents were parents about it, didn't see the beauty in what we built. It was like the pillow forts, a way to build a world with our little hands. I think the walls should be made of paper and the whiteboard. And the whiteboard, we'll take it off the wall, turn it so the shiny part faces in, and we can have little pouches of things to draw with, dry erase markers, crayons, Sharpies. We can tape pieces of white construction paper together, poster boards, white blankets, and better not, the parents, better not. But maybe after, as we go, we can drape blankets over the walls of paper and drawing surfaces, give us more insulation, better walls. And we should put in light sources as we go. Flashlights and glow-in-the-dark stars and slivers and holes so light can get in, and lamps and alarm clocks. Alarm clocks? They're always so bright, I can't sleep without covering them. And alarm clocks. What do you think? I think this is going to be the best pillow fort we've ever built. That's because we're building it. That's because you're building it with us. Lead on. No leading. Let's make something. All right. Next up, we have Brent Ascari, who I've only met tonight, but I'm really excited to get to hear his work very soon. And the play Brent is reading from, it's called Andy Warhol in Iran, and was commissioned by Barrington Stage Company. So it's going to kick off their 2022 season. So definitely check that out. All right, good luck, Brent.
Thanks, Lindsay. That was great. I'm going to be reading from, this is the opening of the play of Andy Warhol in Iran. And this is just sort of the opening monologue, which I've abridged, but just to give general sense. And the play is based on an actual trip. Andy Warhol went to Iran in 1976 to take Polaroids of the Shah's wife, the Empress Farah, to do her portrait. So this is the beginning. Oh, hey, I don't really like to talk in public. I'd rather just watch like you. It's so great to just sit in the dark and look. I can look for hours and hours. It's kind of my superpower. I once made a movie where someone just slept for 5.5 hours. I wanted it to be 8 hours, but we didn't have enough footage. I thought it was a really great movie, but most people hated it. They said nothing happened. But if you look close enough, you can see a lot is always happening. So I'd trade places with you all if you wanted, but gee, you paid money to come here, so I guess I should do something. It's like I always say, you gotta bring home the bacon. Maybe we could pretend we're talking on the phone. I love talking on the phone. I talk to people on the phone for hours. I wish I could always just be on the phone with everyone instead of meeting them face to face. It's so much better to have distance. I think most things are better with distance. I tell people the most exciting way to have sex is not having it. So maybe let's just pretend we're talking on the phone. I'll say ring, ring, and you say hello. Ring, ring. Oh, hi, it's Andy. Wow, isn't that so much better? I just love the phone. So now that we're on the phone, I'll tell you a story, which is kind of funny because I've never been good with stories. That's why I filmed a guy sleeping for 5.5 hours. You don't need a plot. And if you want a story to learn about me, there's really not much to say. I always tell people, if you want to know about Andy Warhol, just look at the surface of my paintings and films and me, and there I am. There's nothing behind it. But I don't like it when people ask for their money back. So here we go. The story of Andy Warhol in Iran. This all starts back in the 1970s when I returned to painting after retiring from it in the 60s. And Fred Hughes, my right-hand man, encouraged me to start doing portraits because my Chairman Mao portraits were such a big hit in 1972. And he thought this could really be a way to bring home the bacon. And Fred was so right. Those portraits brought home a lot of bacon. And that's when I came up with the idea of business art. I told people a really fascinating kind of art is business art, because making money is art, and working is art, and good business is the best kind of art of all. So soon I was doing portraits of the rich and famous, celebrities and society people, and I thought I should paint world leaders, and became obsessed with doing Imelda Marcos's portrait. Not just because she was rich, but because I thought royals wouldn't just buy one painting for their palace. They'd probably want them in every government office, every embassy, every consulate. They'd want multiple copies. And I love making repetitions of things. It's what I'm famous for. It's whether Campbell's soup cans or Marilyn Monroe or Mao or atomic bombs. But it's also good financially because you can sell a whole bunch of them. Imelda would invite me for dinner and drinks and make me watch movies about her. But I think she liked my dachshund, Archie, named after Archie Bunker, more than me. She even invited Archie to the Philippines to visit her dogs, her 30 dogs, who all lived in a big dog house behind her palace, because she thought Archie would get along with them, but she never gave me a commission, which was really sad. Maybe I should have had Archie broker the deal. Some people were so mad at me for wanting Imelda's portrait. They tried to explain the politics of the Philippines, but I told them, politics is so abstract, and it's just a painting. And besides, ever since I donated a painting to the McGovern campaign of Richard Nixon with a green and blue face, ever since then, I've been audited by the IRS every single year. So I realized then politics is too expensive. Anyway, in May of 1975, I got invited to the White House when Gerald Ford was president for a state dinner hosting the Shah of Iran and his wife Farah. The Empress seemed excited to meet me, and I wanted to meet her because she was buying lots of artwork for this modern art museum she created back in Iran. And all the artists everywhere were so excited because she was throwing around lots of money and everybody wanted some. And my first big break in the art world was when I painted dollar bills, because I wanted to paint something everybody loves. So I went down to DC and stayed at the Watergate and went to the White House and sat next to Nancy Kissinger. And so many celebrities were there: Bob Hope and Pearl Bailey and Douglas Fairbanks, and Anne Margaret did some routines dressed in a red, white, and blue outfit that kept getting smaller. And Fred Astaire danced with Betty Ford. I really liked it. It felt more like Vegas than, politics. The Shah and Empress Farah were the guests of honor, but I kind of avoided the Empress because I was terrified that she would ask me to dance. But then, success. In 1976, Empress Farah invited me to Iran to take some portraits, some Polaroids for her portrait. I didn't really know anything about Iran before I went there, except they had a whole lot of caviar. But I went to Iran in July, and I wished I could take Archie with me. On trips like this, I always tell him, Archie, try to talk. Please, just talk. Say something, and then I'll never have to work again, and we'll be on Easy Street. But he never does. Anyway, here we are. I'm at the Tehran Hilton for several days, waiting to take Polaroids of the Empress, wondering when I'll finally be summoned to the palace. And this is exactly when something happened, or could have happened, or it's going to happen here, now, or something like that. So that's the opening of that. And next up, we have Jacqueline Goldfinger, who I'm so excited to see again. I met in Philly years ago and was thrilled to see her here, even although digitally. Her plug, she has not a production, but productions of Babel. There's going to be one at the Constructivist this spring, at the Contemporary American Theater Festival this summer, and in Florida at an NNPN theater to be announced. So that's Jacqueline. Take it away.
Thank you so much. And oh my gosh, I want to watch you perform that play. Actually, I'm like, wrote it, you could perform it. I could sit here and watch all of it. Beautiful work. Thank you to NNPN for sponsoring this evening, and for all of the incredible writers for sharing your work. I have so much to read now. My list on the New Play Exchange got so much longer of things to read. I am going to read a piece that we are workshopping next month at Florida Studio Theater. I was commissioned by FST to write a one-woman show about Sandra Day O'Connor. For those of you who don't know Sandra Day O'Connor, she was the first female Supreme Court justice. Many people think Ruth Bader Ginsburg was, and that was awesome. I love RBG. But actually, during the Reagan administration, a quiet Southern judge, Sandra Day O'Connor, was appointed to the Supreme Court, and it was groundbreaking in a lot of ways. So this would be a one-woman show. It's called The Grand Lady, The Lives and Loves of Sandra Day O'Connor. And think of an actress like a Helen Mirren type of actress would play this character. All right. So the epigraph is, even in my own time and in my own life, I have witnessed a revolution. Sandra Day O'Connor. So in our stage directions, it is June 30th, 2005. Sandra Day O'Connor has finished penning her resignation letter to President Bush and is deciding whether or not to send it. Heavy is the head who wears the crown. What Shakespeare forgot to write down was the remainder of that line. Heavy is the head who wears the crown, but heavier still is the head that cannot afford groceries, childcare, or who is prevented from voting. Where do you stand, Sandra? Justice O'Connor or wife O'Connor? Balancing both is no longer an option, unless you want to put John in a nursing home among people who are not family, even if he can't realize it anymore. Perhaps take a cue from Reese Witherspoon in my favorite movie, Legally Blonde. I once had to judge a tighty-whitey contest for Lambda Capta Pie. Trust me, I can handle anything. You're entirely in the right, Reese. Until today, to submit my resignation letter to the president or not, to be or not to be, that is the question. Well, Shakespeare, you old cowboy, today's question is to judge or not to judge. That is the question. But your question did not rest on the roulette of Alzheimer's and Hamlet. So I say your question is much more easy. Your question is much easier to answer than mine. She puts the letter away. It's no longer visible. Until I was 4, I played with a cub bobcat named Bob, who would arch his back and bare his teeth at fresh bloody meat, but was relatively tame otherwise. One morning, I went out to play with Bob. I toddler waddled over to the bed that I made for him just off the porch where the cowhand slept, but Bobcat Bob was gone. A few minutes later, I heard my mother scream. Apparently, all the chickens were gone too. John's Alzheimer's is a lot like that bobcat, relatively tame with a few heated sparks of confusion, then gone, only to return, baring its teeth, taking my husband away from me. The doctors say he might need to be hospitalized in a year, or never, or in 5 years, or the good God Almighty might take him home sooner. Modern medicine, as much a game of roulette as the disease itself. DA, my nickname for my father, he taught me about the cycles of life and death and how they were necessary for all life to thrive. Growing up on our ranch in Arizona with no running water or air conditioning, all of our hours were consumed by survival and the life and death of the seasons, the livestock, and even each other. One afternoon, while I was spending the heat of the day reading Nancy Drew in the shade, DA called me out to our old Chevy pickup truck and helped me inside as my 10-year-old legs were still a little short for the step up. He pointed to a speck in the distance where the vultures were circling, and we took off. Down a bumpy road, riding with my father was always a little bit like a roller coaster at the carnival. You went very fast, up and down and around sharp curves, but never off the road. When we reached the vultures, we saw that a small calf lay on the ground bleeding, its tail and half its body eaten by a coyote. When DA reached for his rifle on the gun rack, I begged him not to shoot the poor calf. I told him, with the naivety of a 10-year-old's desperation, that I was sure I could heal it. My father just turned to the calf and fired his gun. The calf lay still, released from the pain of this world. I beat against his chest and screamed, "How could you?" He stood still, waiting until I calmed down and held me. He tipped my chin up to see his face and told me that the circle of life never ends. It just moves forward and forward and forward. Sometimes we understand it, sometimes we don't, but we do the best we can to care for those whose paths cross with ours. It was difficult to understand the lesson in the moment, but I received some clarity the next day. The next day, our farmhand Raphael brought in the hide of the young dead calf on the road. I watched as Raphael tied the hide to the back of another calf who had lost its mother and was refusing to nurse from the bottle, leaving him starving and near death. The mother of the deceased calf was nearby, smelled her baby's hide, came and fed the other calf, and the starving calf took her milk. Because of the death of her baby, another's child lived. I learned a valuable lesson that day about life cycles and letting go. The challenge with Alzheimer's is that it's so difficult to know when to let go, to move them into care. They are so alive and loving in one moment and confused in the next, sometimes even violent, although thank God John never is. My father had a keen mind for lessons, for the teaching of them and the taking of them. From him, I learned that it is the individual who can and does make a difference, even in this increasingly populous and complex world of ours. It is the individual who has acted or tried to act who will not only force a decision, but also have a hand in shaping it. Whether acting in the legal, governmental, or private realm, one concerned and dedicated person can meaningfully affect what some consider to be an uncaring world. I wish you were here now, DA. What lesson of the life cycle and ways of nature is this choice supposed to teach me, Father? You lump together family, community, and country, but now I am at a crossroads where I must choose one of the three to serve, and I am flayed to the bone with my own indecision. DA, Father, I am here, listening, but as in Hamlet, the rest is silence. After a moment, there's a crack of thunder and the sound of the downpouring rain. Thanks for that nuanced response, DA. And so the rest of the play, it's 80 minutes, no intermission. The rest of the play follows her journey to both take care of her husband, John, with his Alzheimer's, and also her decision to leave the court early and what those life lessons have taught her, including talking about some of the more controversial cases in terms of God and the Pledge of Allegiance and allowing gay marriage and all of that she was involved in, and how she saw them both when she made the decision and later in life, which I think is fascinating because some of her ideas changed later and she wished she would have made other decisions. And then we do end with her giving in her resignation like she did to President Bush, but also with this feeling that she has come to a completion and a feeling of this is where she needs to be with her husband and his Alzheimer's. So that's it. Thank you so much again for being here and listening.
Thank you, Jacqueline Goldfinger. Thank you to all of our playwrights. That in the chat is all the ways you can go and find them. I will call them out. Thank you, Jacqueline Goldfinger, Brent Ascari, Lindsay Carpenter, Keiko Green, Ricardo Perez Gonzalez, Fran da Silveira, Lucas Beige, and Reina Hardy. We love you and we love your plays. And thank you for being here with all of us. Nan, take us home.
Thank you all so very, very much. What an amazing, amazing group of writers. I am overjoyed and full of love. And I cannot thank you enough for sharing your work. I love this. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Thank you. We look forward to seeing everybody tomorrow. Remember, we begin with our opening plenary at 12 noon Eastern. That's 11 Central, 10 Mountain, 9 Pacific, and oh, so sorry, 8 a.m. Alaska. But we are really excited about what's coming. You can access that event tomorrow again at noon via Mighty Networks at the address you see before you. Now, on behalf of staff, team, everybody from NNPN, this wonderful group of writers, I'm going to ask staff to come on. The rest of you, can you, do we do that? We just come on and say goodbye and thank you, thank you, thank you. And now my cat is here. Everybody say goodbye, Giselle. See you tomorrow, noon Eastern. Can't wait. Thank you again, everyone. Good night.